The BMW X1 has changed, and how. One of the brand's largest selling cars globally has been quite popular in India too, and with this new generation, a lot has changed. In that list, the first thing that is quite evident are its dimensions. This SUV has really grown in size when compared to its predecessor, and at first glance, you can mistake it for an X3. In fact, the journey from the first gen to this third gen is quite a transformation when it comes to the overall size of the car. At the start of this year, the German carmaker launched the car in India, and now after a few months, we finally got a chance to get behind its wheel.
The highlights on the face, this almost square-shaped portions of the kidney grille, looks very nice in proportion to the overall size of the car. And yes, the adaptive LED headlamps, which are now standard on the X1. Both the trims get 18-inch alloys, but here on the M Sport, you get nicer looking wheels. It is from the rear that the new X1 really appeals to you. Everything from the spoiler on the top to the skid plates at the bottom add to the sporty appeal of this SUV.
The LED taillights too are now available as standard. The M Sport package you see here brings with it satinated aluminium on the grille and black high gloss inserts on the bumpers. In all, there are 6 color options, but not all may be available on both the X line as well as M Sport trims. That's not the case with this space silver option though. While on the move, the new X1 has solid road presence and impresses with its demeanor. You get a clear view of the road ahead and are never far away from that perfect driver position. The new X1 has come in both petrol and diesel versions, and we don't get to hear that too often now, even in the premium segment. We got to drive the 2-liter diesel.
Power is decent, but what really aids in a sporty drive is the fact that the peak torque kicks in at around 1500 RPM, and that really enhances the overall driving experience of this car.
The 4-cylinder diesel motor along with a 7-speed Steptronic transmission ensures the car can reach 100 km per hour from stationary in just under 9 seconds. In comparison, the 3-cylinder petrol engine is slightly slower and power and peak torque figures are lower too. We couldn't sample that one, but was certainly not complaining about the one that we did get to drive.
NVH levels are decent on this diesel version of the car, but there's certainly some scope for improvement. So at cruising speeds, it's quite good. The engine is relatively silent, but the moment you press the throttle hard, this engine really announces itself and tells you that you're driving a diesel car. Now on this M Sport trim, there is one more way to enhance your driving pleasure, and that is through paddle shifts, because these are available only on this higher trim of the car.
That's not all. The Sport Boost mode ensures that the responses from the drivetrain get even better during the drive.
On this new X1 with this diesel engine specifically, one figure that is worth mentioning is the fuel efficiency, because here the ARAI claim figure is above 20 kilometers per litre, and that is really good looking at the segment in which this car comes in.
A figure of 16.3 kilometers per litre isn't too bad either on petrol. However, it remains to be seen what the real world figures are on the car.
Different drive modes are there as well that alter the character of the car. So be it the steering wheel or the engine response, everything changes. And again, if you want a more comfortable drive, if you want a more sporty drive, the X1 is there to provide you with what you want. A whole lot of tech has been put on the X1 to ensure that this is a car that handles in a good way. And if you take it out on the empty road and take it around fast corners, it's a car that gives you good confidence and you can play around with it at decent speeds.
Engine control and brake interventions during cornering are non-intrusive, and features like dynamic stability control, including dynamic traction control and cornering brake control, come in handy, especially looking at the proportions of the car. The steering provides good feedback and you enjoy playing with it on some winding roads.
Suspension, as expected, is a bit on the stiffer side, but as I said, you can alter the drive modes and choose a more desired setting when it comes to ride quality on this new car.
In fact, it won't be wrong to say that the new X1 has got the handling character of the first generation and ride comfort of the previous generation. The new X1 also gets driver assistance systems like lane departure warning, dynamic cruise control, automatic emergency braking and pedestrian protection. You also get 6 airbags, tire pressure indicator, ISOFIX child seat mounts and the very useful parking assistant with reversing assistant.
The X1 looks big on the outside and it feels big on the inside too. At first glance, this looks like a very ergonomic cabin with a lot of storage space. It's very nicely laid out, so as a driver or as a passenger, you like that. So I can store a lot of stuff below the center console here, which is really nice. And I also like the way the wireless charger has been designed. It holds your phone, which is really nice. The BMW curved display finds a place in the X1 as well. That really makes the car look more premium. And there are some features that are exclusive only to this M Sport version of the car, which includes massage function on both the front seats. That's really nice. And you also get a leather wrapped steering wheel here.
Harman Kardon sound system with 12 speakers is exclusive to this M Sport trim, while you also get ambient lighting, 2-zone climate control, a digital key and a panoramic sunroof. A whole lot of connectivity features are on offer too. For upholstery, you can choose between Sensatec perforated Mocha and Sensatec perforated Oyster on both the trims. The new X1 comes with a boot space of 476 liters, which is a tad lesser than before.
The second row is quite decent on space on this new X1, especially when I'm talking about headroom or knee room and leg room. However, the under-thigh support can be a bit better, and so can be the shoulder room, especially when 3 people are sitting here. More so because the middle passenger will be slightly troubled by this big transmission tunnel right in between. This M Sport trim gets one speciality here on the second row, which is you can slide forward the second row seats to create more boot space, which just adds to the practicality.
While the petrol model is available in both the trims, this diesel engine can be bought only with the higher feature-loaded M Sport. Taking on the X1 in the market are a slew of small premium SUVs. These include the Mercedes-Benz GLA, Audi Q3 and Volvo XC40. The new X1 is a new generation model in true sense. Everything from design and dimensions to features and drivability has changed on the car, and it does seem to justify its price tag looking at how the rivals are priced. It comes across as a worthy option in this competitive segment, one that has adapted well to today's times.